Hello, everybody. It's my pleasure to talk more about Chapter 2, verse 45, one of the five Niyamas, Ishvara, Pranidhana. So, in the simplest sense, this one is most often translated as surrender to something bigger than you, surrender to a higher power, for example. And then, very often, that's where the translation just stops. But I want us to go deeper. There's so much richness in this particular niyama that can really make a positive difference in how you live your life. So let's look at this as first step, a sense of releasing. A releasing, and a great way to think of this is letting go. And it's interesting, over the years in theming classes, I often think that the theme of let go, well, it's been overdone. Who's that really going to impact? And then I'll go take a class as a student, and the teacher introduces the theme as inhale, let, exhale, go. And I'll watch people around me having this really transformative experience, move to tears, to laughter, to a complete change, that they have never heard this mantra, this practice of let go. And so it's impressed upon me that as much as I may be familiar with it, that so many people aren't. And they are carrying around the burden of one thing and one trauma and another grievance and another challenge and another worry, and that they've just created this accumulation where life feels really heavy. It's like we're all given a backpack in this lifetime, and all of the stuff that happens to us gets put in the backpack. And over time, it just gets so heavy, you just feel weighed down by life, kind of like how Atlas, carrying the weight of the world, must have felt. And so this aspect of Ishvara Pranidhana, releasing, letting go, is literally creating the space in our life that we need in order to welcome in that we want, that we desire, that we deserve, and that matches our mission and our intention for our lives, especially right now. So letting go is active. I think very often this particular niyama gets misunderstood as something passive, that letting go, releasing, the word surrender, it just means you're doing nothing, like you're just in shavasana doing nothing. But in fact, this is a very, very active practice to let go, to release. And there are amazing rituals and ceremonies that you can employ to do this. In Ecuador, where I'm from, one of the major ceremonies in the whole country is New Year's Eve, where it's called Años Viejos, which means old year. And so in the month previous to the new year, you create an effigy, like a life-size dummy of yourself or what have you, that's most common. And then you pin to the dummy a list of all the things that you're letting go of in the year, right? And then at midnight, everyone brings all these effigies into the streets and burns them. This is this huge releasing ceremony. And it's what we are looking to do. There's something active involved in letting go and releasing. I've also, as a cradle Catholic, had the experience of my first letting go was going to confession, was literally going to a place and to a person that I could tell the things that were hurting me, were a burden upon my soul and my heart, and then I could be released from them. Yes. So that's a form of recapitulation, this letting go, this releasing. And in Bali, where I lived half year for 10 years, there were constantly, all the time, releasement ceremonies. Constantly in the Balinese culture, like every day, there's ceremonies to let go in order to create that space that we need to welcome in. Because two things can't occupy the same space. It's mutually exclusive. So I've really had impressed upon me the rituals and the benefit of rituals in releasing. A very simple releasement ceremony that I'm a big fan of is aligned with the full moon. To write on little slips of paper those people, those situations, those things, those feelings that you want to let go, and then burning them on the night of the full moon. Because the full moon is this symbolic representation of releasing and letting go, right? In order to create the space for the new moon. And the new moon represents new beginnings. But we can only make a new beginning to the degree that we've let go of the past. You can only breathe in to the degree that you've exhaled to create the space for the next breath. So releasement, letting go, is such a beautiful active practice of Ishvara Pranidhana. And so where in your life, and what rituals do you know perhaps that you can use on a regular basis to let go? Whether it's a Kundalini Kriya, it's writing things down, it's writing them and burning them, it's water purification and letting go of things that no longer serve you. Think about how you could make this a more important part of your life, and I guarantee you your life will change as a result. The next part of Ishvara Pranidhana that I'd love to share with you is a sense of acceptance. So one of my favorite journaling prompts is this: can you live with what life is offering? Can you live with what life is offering? Instead of always wanting things to be different than what they are right now, can we simply accept that in this moment, this is what life is offering, this is what it is? My first year in Seattle, Pacific Northwest, which was very different weather than Chicago, it rains a lot and it's gray a lot. And I had this resistance to it all that first year. Like, when is the sun gonna come out? This rain is hurting me, it's impacting me, it's making my life difficult. I don't like it, I don't want this. And I just was in a constant state of resistance, saying to myself, if it was sunny tomorrow, then it would be a good day, and it's gonna be better than today that it's gray and it's rainy. But as I applied this particular Niyama, and I let go of the resistance, there was no longer a leak of energy fighting what is. And even Eckhart Tolle in his book, A New Earth, talks about the isness of now. And you could decide to fight the isness of now, and if you do, you suffer. But if we are in a state of acceptance, that this is what it is, and this is what life is offering, it's going to rain today. I am not in control of the rain, and nor are you. So that aspect that there is something bigger than us, and therefore, can we accept that this bigger energy that exists, this higher consciousness, nature, nature itself, or great spirit, or maybe perhaps you refer to this energy as God, whatever it may be, that we are not solely in control. And so can we accept a co-creative experience with this bigger energy? And then as soon as you do that, and you stop fighting, stop wasting the energy fighting, resisting against what is, and you learn to live with what life is offering, accepting these are the circumstances in this moment, so then now I'm responsible for my reaction, my response, and what can I do based upon this, rather than trying to push it, change it, deny it. Everything changes, because from that, you feel more empowered. Rather than trying to fight the weather, you just say, all right, today it's raining. What can I do? How can I enjoy this? How can I not make this worse? This is maybe not my preference, but certainly it doesn't ruin the day, because I am responsible for my happiness. And happiness is always a choice. So this is different than saying, if you're in an abusive, toxic relationship, just accept the toxicity, accept the abuse. Because I've been in an abusive marriage. I've had to save my own life. So it's not that sort of acceptance, which is apathy. It's not that at all. But in the circumstance, this is not the husband that I thought I had married. This is not the relationship that I so desired. This is not the relationship that I'm dedicated to. He's not showing up in integrity, and I am in fear. But now what can I do? Can I stay and help him get better? And I did try that for years. Can I ignore it? Yes. Can I hide his dysfunction from others? Yes. Did that too. Or if it's so toxic and abusive, and I really feel like my life is in danger, can I get away from the situation? Yes, I can. And I can file for divorce. And that's what I did. And it was a really difficult situation. But it's not just to accept like, I'm just going to have to deal with this the rest of my life. It's not that at all. But these were the circumstances. And as soon as then I felt that acceptance of what is, rather than fighting it and wanting it to be different and wanting this person to be a different person, then I could do something about it. And then that made all the difference. The other aspect of Ishvara Pranidhana is this sense of engagement. How can we be in this co-creative experience if we are not solely in control? Because that is a fallacy. You've actually never been in total control of everything around you and of the world and the circumstances and everything in your life. Yes? Nor have we been in control of what we want other people to do, right? Then how can we be engaged in a really healthy, mindful way with the energies that exist around us? What does engagement look like for you? What can you do on a minute level? And then what can you do on a macro level? Engagement in the issues that you care about in the world. Systemic racism. Do you just say, well, that's just the way it is? Yes, there is not total control within your power to just wave a magic wand and make that all go away. But you do have control of the actions that you take, the influence that you have, the social justice that you participate in, being a good ally to BIPOC, to me. And so that requires engagement. It doesn't ask that you just ignore and let somebody else do it, but you get involved in things that you care about. And that's that co-creative aspect. Maybe for you, it's not racial discrimination. Maybe it's sexism and misogyny. Maybe it's LGBTQ rights. Maybe it's the rights of the earth so that we don't destroy the planet. Then let's do something about it. Let's acknowledge the state of what really is and not deny. And then from there, get involved and take the actions that feel most potent for you. So practices could be in surrender, allowing yourself in Shavasana to not hold yourself up, but to actually trust in this beautiful relationship with the ground, the earth energy, to let the ground hold you in Shavasana. There's that. There's practices like of recapitulation and rituals and ceremonies, like the water purifications that I've moved through so many times in Bali. We put our head underneath fountain to let go of the things that we were releasing, only to then go to the next fountain to then welcome into that space what we're creating. for our life in the next wave, in the next chapter. Or maybe it's a ritual of everyday journaling, of letting go and releasing the busyness of your mind, or perhaps meditating every day and just acknowledging, okay, this is what has occurred. A favorite meditation prompt that I have is sitting in meditation, and then as thoughts come through, just saying to yourself, this is just information. This is just information. And you're not in control of all the data points that are coming at you all day long. And the more you can practice that in meditation, instead of engaging with it, fighting against it, trying to solve every single data point, this is just information. And so that's a way to be engaged, to feel a sense of acceptance through that engagement. And then to participate in your way with that is greater. To know that you're not in this life as a game of solitaire. To learn how to ask for assistance and help, whether it's using a pendulum for divination, talking to your angel guides and spirits and animal totems, whatever it may be, but start the conversation with that is bigger than you. And keep that conversation fed every single day. It's your right to petition the universe for what it is that you need right now and ask for the help and support that you so desire. It's been a pleasure to share with you more about Ishvara Pranidhana, and I hope that this inspires you to apply this to your life. From my heart to your heart, to the heart of the universe, may you love yourself, love your day, and love your life.